Welcome to Soundtrack Your Life, a podcast about soundtracks, music, and movies. Each episode features a guest and focuses on a specific soundtrack and the personal stories connected to it. Now here's your host, Ryan Pack.
I'm Ryan Pack, and this is Soundtrack Your Life. Thank you for listening wherever you are. You can follow us on Instagram at SoundtrackCast and on Twitter at Soundtrack_Your. Today we have John from the But Life's But a Song podcast. And
hello.
Hey, John. Welcome to
Hi.
Soundtrack Your Life.
Thank you. And also, I should say it since I don't know if your listeners know, but you were just on my podcast. You and Nicole were on my podcast to talk about the same topic, but in a different way.
Yeah, we're doing kind of a double feature with John. We're both covering School of Rock for both podcasts, and it's a movie that surprisingly has so much packed into it that you can do two separate episodes on it.
I mean, I haven't seen it prior to like us recording stuff for like a decade. It feels like maybe longer. So there's a lot to unpack.
So you can find Life's But a Song on any podcast platform that you're finding this podcast. And I believe you have one more podcast, John?
I do. I have a another podcast called Movie Deja Vu with my co-host Shady. We compare similar movies by creating a verbal Venn diagram or just like having a natural conversation, whatever we feel like that day. You know how podcasts are. You just you grow, and you have a set structure, and then you break it.
And what is Life's But a Song about?
So it's a bi-weekly podcast where I bring on a different guest every episode, and we talk about either a musical movie or musical TV show of their choice for the most part. For the most part, I should say. Sometimes I'll announce, be like, "This was my choice," but majority of the episodes are my guest's choice, and I believe you picked School of Rock.
Because we're stupid and we don't pick musical movies for musical podcasts.
That's fine. I mean, I've done a bunch of episodes where we question what is a musical, and like, I don't know if I think we decided that School of Rock is a movie with music rather than a musical movie.
But they're singing in it, so it's like close enough.
Right? Yes. But it's not like, the songs in School of Rock, the movie, are just too much. Like the scenes that the songs are in, it's not like it's too much that the people have to sing their emotions. Which is usually what a musical is. This is something where it's like music is very important to the story, and so I don't know if I would call it a musical, but I would definitely say it's a movie about music.
But ironically, it was turned into a musical.
But yes, created by Sir Andrew Lloyd Webber, who famously wrote Jesus Christ Superstar and Phantom of the Opera and Cats. And this.
So at least we're like in the ballpark of a musical.
Yeah. And, I do like the music in this because, who doesn't love rock and roll?
That's what they're banking on.
And there were some original songs in here, but for the most part it was either them covering songs or like we heard snippets from the actual actual bands. If I'm reading this this Wikipedia page correctly.
So let's back up. This is a 2003 Richard Linklater film.
Yeah, that also broke me a little bit when I realized it was him, because I'm so used to like Boyhood,
Before Sunrise,
the Before series, where a lot of his stuff he doesn't like old age. He doesn't like old age makeup, so he does a lot of things like in real time. Like he's still doing. I mean, it's still on IMDb that he's still filming the Merrily We Roll Along movie, which is another musical. But that one involves the passage of time, and I believe he's filming it backwards. because in the stage version it starts in like a present day and then it goes back in time.
Wow.
So
Wait, did you say that he's shooting it like Boyhood, where it's like?
yeah, so like Boyhood, if you really think about it, even though Boyhood was filmed in what, like 14 years or something like that, they only shot for like 40 days total. So it's like a week here, 2 weeks there, every year or something. And so I think that's what he's doing with Merrily, where it's like, you know, a week here, a week in 2020, a week in 2022, you know, something like that.
But it's a musical this time.
But it's a musical, yes. This one's a real musical, not like School of Rock, which centers around music.
So in 14 years, Nicole and I will come back to your podcast to talk about that.
I am so ready. I think it has like a 20. I mean, it might be now like 10 years, but who knows? COVID did push a lot of things back. But Richard Linklater seems like somebody who'd be like, everyone wears masks except for the actors. For this 1 week. We got to get it.
So this is the second Linklater film that we've done for the podcast. First one being Dazed and Confused.
That has a great soundtrack.
It does.
The Dazed and Confused one?
Yeah. Sold millions of records.
I mean, Linklater knows music, because Boyhood, they use music to like delineate time. And so he picks he curates, I don't want to say he picks, he curates great music. Like even in this one there's great music. Like there's The Who, there's Led Zeppelin, there's the Ramones and a bunch of other people on the soundtrack itself, but like in the movie there's more. There's like they mention
like
the Clash, AC/DC, Metallica, yeah. So he's got a good ear, assuming it's him that's actually picking the music. You know, like he probably has final say on everything, but yeah, he's got a good ear based on his filmography.
Yeah, and I think he's for some reason isn't like recognized like Tarantino or Wes Anderson is for their music.
No, and he should be.
Yeah,
you heard it here. You heard it on here. Soundtrack Your Life. Richard Linklater is a great curator of music from his movies.
And you know, he works with good people. So on this film, he's worked with Randall Poster. Randall Poster is a music supervisor who's actually best known as being Wes Anderson's guy.
So when you say music supervisor, that's actually the one that picks the music, like picks the songs, or are they like written into the script? So,
I mean, I think it depends on the project, but I think famously, like for Rushmore, Wes Anderson wanted to use all Kinks songs. I think that would have blown the budget way expensive, so Randall Poster had to kind of go find songs that kind of fit the Kinks vibe that were affordable.
Got it. Yeah. So he's the one that was like, "Hey, this is a good song."
Yeah.
You know, like okay, so for example, I'm just gonna pick a random song that appears in the movie. So there's Black Shuck by The Darkness. So like this guy picked that song, you're saying?
Probably.
Probably. Yeah.
I mean, I think Jack and Linklater also had some say in some of the songs that were picked. So I can't say for sure, but you know, Randall Poster might come to Richard Linklater and be like, "Hey, I think this might be a good song for this scene," and Linklater would be like, "Oh yeah, that'd be great. That's perfect."
Yeah. That's learn something new every day.
I'd love to actually interview a music supervisor to kind of see like where that divide is, like between like the director or maybe the screenwriter.
It's so fascinating for movies like this where music is basically a character in a way. And it's like some people probably write it into the script because it is what the screenwriter is thinking of while they are writing like that scene. But I have a feeling, when it comes down to rights and stuff, the music supervisor must be like what you said about Rushmore, where it's like, we can't get all Kinks music, but like,
Yeah.
here's the same vibe.
So I don't know if this is a flex on Randall Poster's part or if it's a budget saving thing, but in the movie there's a Stooges cover, which is not from the actual band, but it's from it's from the Velvet Goldmine soundtrack, which he also is the music supervisor of. So it's like the
Fascinating.
Wild Rats version of the Stooges song, which means it's actually Ewan McGregor singing.
Wait, are you talking about
Yeah,
TVI?
TVI. So in the
Yeah.
movie, they don't use the Stooges version. They use this Wild Rats version with Ewan McGregor and like some of the guys from Sonic Youth. And I don't know if it's like him like, hey, I can save us money by using this version that I had recorded for a different soundtrack, or if he was just like, I'm motherfucking Randall Poster. Let's throw in a Velvet Goldmine reference.
Yeah, but like, I'm looking on the track listing, and it's the Stooges version on the soundtrack.
Right. But in the movie, it's like not the
Oh,
Stooges.
okay. That's so wild that they got the rights for the soundtrack, but not the movie.
But it's like this like weird little, I don't know if it's like a flex, like, look at how great I am.
It's gotta be. It's gotta be. I mean, you gotta be creative and save some money when you're making a movie, because you gotta allocate it somewhere else, probably.
It's so they could get
Speaking
that
of
Who
serious.
song. So they could get that whole Stevie Nicks song.
Oh, yes. I mean, that I don't think any other song but Edge of 17 would have worked for that scene,
Yeah.
because we're talking about the scene with Joan Cusack when her and Jack Black get a little toasty, little schwasty feisty, and she sings Edge of 17 while he's trying to like abuse power in a way.
Right.
And like, you got that guitar line going, and it's just so iconic that, I mean, they probably could find another song, but the way that it is right now, I think it's just, chef's kiss perfect.
Yeah. And I can't imagine a different song being in that scene either.
No, because it kind of goes with her character, where she's so, when we see Joan Cusack so buttoned up and everything, and then of course she's gonna love Stevie Nicks. Like, that's her rebellious side.
Right. And I don't know. And then he starts up the jukebox, and then he kind of does like this like bird flapping motion while he's coming back to the table.
Oh my god, it's amazing. I mean, uh, we talked about this, where he can be annoying. Hell, one of your co-hosts did not join my episode because she hates him.
Correct.
How dare she? But we will not name names.
Grinders.
But yeah, I mean, you go on a journey with that character where it's like, you start by not liking him, and like, he's a bum and everything, and then he grows and you start to like, as an audience person, at least I did, I started to be like, okay, you're not super annoying, but you're still a little annoying.
You're just the right amount of annoying.
You're just the right amount where I can tolerate you. Yeah, anymore, and I'll just have to turn this movie off.
And I think Miranda Cosgrove's character is kind of like the barometer of like, okay, you're getting a little too annoying, so we're gonna like rein you back a little bit.
Yeah, and it's like, you're clearly supposed to be like the straight man, a Miranda Cosgrove, but like, you're also just a little. Like, when she busted out Memory, I was laughing. Which, I mean, I wonder now that I just brought it up, I wonder if that's why Andrew Lloyd Webber wrote the musical, because they make a reference to him in the original movie.
That would be hilarious.
Maybe
So
that would be,
hilarious.
yeah.
If it's just that easy, like, oh, just like have a character sing a bit of a Andrew Lloyd Webber. Like, it's such a 4D chess move if that's how they got him to. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Oh my goodness. But I'm seeing also on the soundtrack that they have the songs from No Vacancy, the band that Jack Black starts with.
Yeah.
Um, I don't remember. Do you know if they wrote them or did some who wrote those songs?
So for No Vacancy, there's two writers. The one at the beginning, which I think is a song called Fight.
Yes.
That was written by Warren Fitzgerald, who I think he's most best known for being in the Vandals.
I don't know this band, but cool. Good for
So a
him.
punk band from like the late '80s, early '90s, I believe.
Okay.
But punk rock guy, which is weird because I don't
Nice.
think "Fight" sounds like a punk rock song.
No, but that's like still rock in a way.
Yeah, but
So,
it's more of like a harder rock.
hmm.
But anyways, we're just nitpicking here. And then
Well, yeah.
and then "Heal Me, I'm Heartsick," the song that No Vacancy plays at the at the Battle of the Bands.
It's so stupid.
That was
It's
written by Craig Wedren, who I've talked about on the podcast before. He used to be in a band called Shudder to Think. Shudder to Think has a song on the Velvet Goldmine soundtrack, which we covered. And he also wrote, all the rock songs for Wet Hot American Summer. So I feel like that's kind of right up his alley. I don't remember who said it, but in some interview when the movie came out, I believe he was told to write the song in the style of Creed.
that that song, man. I don't know why they would play a ballad for Battle of the Bands, but that's just my preference. If it's like all these rock bands, why are you playing like a rock ballad? Why wouldn't you play like a more, I don't know, harder song? I don't know if that's the right words to say, but you know what I mean? Like a
Yeah,
more up tempo and
like if people
um
dancing.
yeah, moving more like rhythmic moving. They don't have to dance, they just have to like flail around a little.
Yeah, like go nuts. I think kind of like the subtext of like him getting kicked out of that band is they're super serious about like trying to like get signed. So like whatever they need to do, let's go get the spider guy to play guitar. Let's figure out what's on the radio and let's try to sound like that. I think that's kind of like the underlying like arc for this band.
Yeah, yeah, just to show like they can do it. But I don't know, I think I preferred the School of Rock song, the band The School of Rock, not, or is that the name of the song? Wait.
It's
Wait,
both.
it's both School of Rock by School of Rock cast. Got it. With the Mooney Suzuki? Who's that?
The Mooney Suzuki is a band that had a bunch of buzz around this time. I forget what the festival is called, but there's like in Austin a big. It's not CMJ. They have like a big like music festival that's kind of very like for industry people.
Not South by Southwest.
Yeah, South by Southwest. Yeah. So,
Okay.
so at the time, I think Mooney Suzuki, like maybe a year earlier, I played South by Southwest and like blew the doors off the place. Like everyone was talking about them.
Interesting.
So then they got them to write the song for the movie, and then when it came to the Mooney Suzuki like going to release an album, like it totally tanked. Like I think when they got signed, it was basically like, "Hey, you should use all these top pop songwriters to write with you guys," and they were like,
That's not our brand, but
and then
okay.
and then it just kind of they didn't go anywhere.
That's sad. But they're on the School of Rock soundtrack.
Yeah, so you have a pretty. I mean, even though they didn't make it big, you have a bunch of like outside songwriters writing these songs for both No Vacancy and for the kids. Uh, Also, Craig Wedren scored the movie as well. I know that there's a lot of soundtrack songs, so it kind of it's not like a big score heavy film, but He did the music for that.
No, and if it's anything, it might just be like guitar or something, or like still in the same vein as like these bands that Jack Black's character tells the kids to listen to. But like for me, somebody who's not well versed in 80s rock music, I don't think I would have picked up on the fact that it is not a real band as underscoring.
Right. It's not supposed to be like you're watching Star Wars and you're like, oh, this is like a really nice John
Right.
Williams score. It's supposed to be like,
Or Harry Potter or any, yeah. I think if there is, because now I'm drawing a blank as to any moment where there is underscoring, because I'm just so used to them like playing and singing and all that, and listening to real other bands recording. So if there is anything, I probably have to go back and listen closer to the movie. But it's probably just something that is again in the same like vibe as these rock bands that they're referencing.
yeah, it's supposed to be very seamless.
Yeah. It's interesting that they didn't even like contact him to potentially do the Broadway show. Considering, he worked on the movie. So, I guess they wanted, a Broadway person to do the Broadway show, the musical, not a music, a movie guy, movie producer, or well, he's a movie composer.
Yeah, he's a composer and songwriter.
Yeah, it's a little weird, but I will say though, if you get a chance to listen to the musical, they do have songs that were in the movie. I mean, they reworked them a little bit, but like it they go hard. And then of course then there's like the musical songs, like musical theater and everything.
Right.
But yeah,
Do they have Heal Me, I'm Heartsick?
I'm looking at it right now, and no. So the song that No Vacancy sings is called I'm Too Hot for You.
Which
So
kind of sounds more along the lines of what you thought they should play at the Battle of the Bands, I guess.
I mean, I also really haven't listened to this album in a while. I'm no Bad John. So, I can't say if it is. I mean, it's also a reprise because they sing it in Act 1. So, it's actually the first song of the show.
Ah,
Wow, go me.
okay.
Go team. Go team. Oh my god. I am the worst guest. I'm so sorry.
No worries. I mean, we're not really covering the musical, but it's nice. It's interesting to know the similarities and differences between the movie and what they changed.
But the lyrics was by Glenn Slater, who works a lot with musical theater composers. On his Wikipedia page, they mention Alan Menken, Christopher Lennertz, and Andrew Lloyd Webber as like the ones that he primarily works for. So, go team!
Yeah, and those are big names because I actually recognize some of those.
Yes, everyone should know Alan Menken. Like, my God, if you're a millennial,
Because he did all the Disney movies, right?
He did a lot of the he did. Did he was he?
He did
No, he
Aladdin, I
wasn't Little
think.
Mermaid. He was Aladdin, yes. But like, yeah, he did a lot. He said he soundtracked your life. Boom, done. Mic drop.
Can't argue that.
But yeah, I mean I I don't know. I said earlier that music is a character in this movie. Would you agree with that?
Oh, absolutely. It's almost what makes Jack Black's character like bearable at the beginning is like he knows good music.
Mm-hmm. And especially when he assigns certain albums for the kids. It's like obviously he's tailoring, what they need to listen to in order to succeed for the fake school project that he's creating
Right.
and lied to them about. So, so many layers with this movie.
Yeah, definitely. It's a universe of its own where he can get away with this and he doesn't get arrested by the end of the film.
Surprisingly.
And Joe Cusack, for that matter.
He starts his own music school where the kids are allowed to go and hang out in his apartment, and you're just like, okay. You movie asked me to forgive a lot of this man.
And especially with that, your children have touched me, and I feel like I've touched them, sort of.
Oh, that's a stupid joke. I fucking hate it. Sorry, I'm don't have a filter. But yeah, it's so stupid. Like, how?
It's like the exclamation point on this. None of this is realistic movie.
Right? Yes. Oh my god.
But let's move on to Jack Black. Okay, so I remember watching an interview where he was talking about how doing all these scenes with the electric guitar was difficult for him. So even though he's in Tenacious D, which is a band, he is always playing the acoustic guitar. And if you want to get even nerdier about that, like he's not the lead guitarist of Tenacious D. Like he's not the one that shreds. That would be Kyle.
Yeah.
So in this movie, he's expected to look like he knows how to shred.
So Kyle probably helped him.
Probably. But that's why, in any scene where he has to shred, he's spinning around and stuff because he can't actually make it look like his fingers are,
Oh my god! I didn't register that.
So when they're working on the School of Rock song for the end of the movie, during the practice, he goes, "Okay, and I'm gonna throw in a guitar solo here," and then he does it with his mouth.
Yes, he does a lot of shredding vocally. The creating just the the noise of it, not actually playing it.
Right. So at the end of the movie, when he does have to play that solo during the big performance, kind of the camera work is not focused on where his hands are.
Yeah, it's the piano, if you ever watch a movie where there's an upright piano, they always film from the back, so this way you just see the actor's hand body moving, but they're not really playing it.
Right. So they kind of had to work around that because Jack is kind of more of a strummer and not a shredder.
Mm-hmm.
So I think there's only one time where he actually plays anything that sounds like guitar solo, and it's when he's playing
for the Battle of the Bands.
No, it's when he's teaching the kids how to play. And so I think it's with the other guitarist, Zach, and he's playing what is it? He's playing Cream.
Oh, yeah. Wait, what song is it? Hold on. I can look it up. I have it.
Sunshine of Your Love.
Yeah. Yes.
So first, he shows Zach how to play that riff, and then once he starts playing it, Jack Black does a little guitar solo thing, but it doesn't sound like what you hear later at the end of the movie where, him and Zach are trading guitar solos during the Battle of the Bands.
Kick some ass.
Because that's Jack actually playing a guitar versus Jack, just miming along to this Mooney Suzuki song.
This movie's wild. I just love their performance because they have they do that thing where they're basing a lot of their costumes off of the uniforms that the school is in, but it's bedazzled and cool and studded and things like that. And then they had one of the classmates play with the background, the animation and everything. And so I think all in all, when everything comes together, like they created a great performance. Now I can't speak for any other future endeavors for this band because who knows what happened, but that one night.
Yeah, where's No Vacancies stage show? Where's their lighting guy?
Right? I mean, it's been about 20 years. I wouldn't mind seeing a sequel. Like, to. I mean, I know that there not only was the musical, there was the TV series
Right.
that happened on Nickelodeon for 3 seasons. 3 seasons? 3 seasons.
But with no Jack Black.
But with no Jack Black. No. And I'm reading the main characters, and they even oh no, they call him Mr. Fid, not Dewey, because I think they're focusing more on the kids than on him. I've never seen this show. I Wikipedia just took me there. I mean, it's probably on Paramount Plus, so we could watch it.
I just think when they do this with movies that have a lead character that has kind of like this movie was made for Jack Black, right? And for
Yeah.
someone to step in his shoes for a TV show, I always feel like they're trying to be Jack. They're trying too hard to be Jack Black and not kind of what that character is supposed to be.
Yeah, which is unfortunate because, like, you shouldn't. You, I mean, like, what was great, I hate to keep going back to it, but what I did like about the stage version is that the actor who played Dewey in that, like, kind of made it his own. Where, like, they're still doing the Jack Blackness of it all, but when I saw it, it didn't feel like they were imitating. It felt like, they were doing the things that Jack Black does, but like made it seem a little more natural to their physicality and body and everything.
Yeah, I mean, and that's how it should be.
I'm looking at the School of Rock poster for the TV series, and there's definitely an emphasis on the kids, and in the background you could see the Dewey character. The teacher.
Right. Which is
So
fine. I mean, it was 3 seasons and it wasn't made for us.
no, it lasted from 2016 to 2018, so it's done. It died.
Wow. So for the movie, they hired a musical consultant by the name of Jim O'Rourke to help these child prodigy musicians play these rock songs. So Jim O'Rourke is like a pretty well-known like indie producer. He makes his own music. He was in Sonic Youth for a little while. Also produced like the likes of Superchunk, and he worked with Wilco. He produced Joanna Newsom, who is this harpist singer songwriter who's married to Andy Samberg.
That's how I know her name. I was like, I know this name. That's probably it.
So they hired this super producer to come in and make sure that the kids had their hands on the right. I mean, all the kids that they hired like knew how to play the instruments, but I guess it was to help them, get the
Get in
timing,
the groove.
get in the groove of playing rock music versus classical or jazz or whatever they were previously trained on.
Do you think he may have also had a hand in helping Jack Black learn how to shred on an electric guitar?
Hard to say because
We're podcasting. Let's speculate.
I think I read that it was for the kids, but I mean, I don't think they would ever want to admit, like, yeah, and he also helped Jack play electric guitar versus acoustic guitar.
I mean, if he's there and Jack had a question, I'm pretty sure he probably was like, "Yeah, this is how you do it." But I don't know if like he actually like had lessons with Jack, or if maybe one day on set he was just like, it would be better if you do it this way.
Yeah,
Probably. Again, we're talking about a movie from 20 years ago, so who knows what actually happened.
sure, why not? I mean, it's Jim O'Rourke. Why wouldn't you want him to give you some pointers?
Right? And I'm pretty sure Jack Black knows the name Jim O'Rourke, so probably would have like respected anything, considering Jack Black like Tenacious D and his acting career are kind of parallel, right?
Yeah.
Because he was in High Fidelity his first movie, or was he in something before? He was in something before that. I can't remember what.
Well, I know he did stuff for like Mr. Show, the sketch show,
Yeah,
and like Tenacious D kind
yeah,
of spun out of that. I think High Fidelity was
yeah.
like his breakout role, and then School of Rock is like his first lead. We're gonna make Jack a star role.
We're gonna make it. Yeah, and then now he's he's in Jumanji movies.
I have a theory about that, and I think it's because it's. I mean, they do well for one,
It's money, yes, yes.
but I think he's got kids, and I think so he's making movies. I think that his kids can watch.
Ah, got it. Yeah, yep, that makes a lot of sense.
Because
That
even like a movie like High Fidelity, like I don't know if he wants to show his kids a movie where he's just a complete asshole for like 95 minutes.
Yeah, and maybe this movie, School of Rock, he's probably just not yet ready to show them.
I don't know how old they are, so
Like
maybe now, but
I feel like though this is a character you don't want to show if you have a young child, because then you're just like, well, Daddy, why are you acting so bad?
right.
Why did you do a bad thing, Daddy?
Why are you lying a lot in this movie?
But that's shredding, Dad. Awesome.
You don't play guitar like that. Not at home, at least.
Oh my god. Amazing. Yes. I got you to speculate. Hooray! Mission accomplished.
So we know that Jack is BFFs with Dave Grohl.
Yes.
So Jack and Kyle have been in 2 Foo Fighters videos.
Learn to Fly, and I don't know the other one.
The other one's Low. I think only Jackson Low.
But Dave Grohl was in their video playing the devil, right? That was him?
Yes.
The tribute. The Tenacious D song, Tribute. I do believe so.
Yeah, so Dave Grohl's the demon in Tribute. I think he's also the devil in Pick of Destiny.
Probably.
And Dave Grohl plays drums on the Tenacious D album, or at least the first one.
Of course he does.
I have the Tenacious D DVD where it's like the HBO show they did, and it has some bonus stuff. And one of them is they were the musical guest on the Mad TV sketch show, and so
Oh,
they
yeah.
played tribute, and Dave Grohl's playing drums.
Of course. God, that man is amazing.
So the Foo Fighters did an acoustic tour, I think, 5 years after this movie came out, and one of the band members that they brought in for this acoustic tour is Petra Hayden. She plays violin and does vocals, and she also is now Jack Black's sister-in-law.
Oh, interesting. Do you think a Foo Fighters song would have worked in this movie? Like, vibe-wise. Not necessarily like a specific song, but like, with how they were going with it.
No, because I think you wanted something like more vintage sounding. That's why it's like The Who and AC/DC and Cream. Like they're just too modern for this movie.
Got it. I'm just asking because you were saying that there's such best friends that I was like, why didn't Jack Black at least Or why weren't they in a part of this?
Why didn't
Because
they
it
write the
seems
School of
like,
Rock song?
why didn't they write the School of Rock? I mean, I guess, like you said, they were going for like a little more vintagey sound. And School of Rock, the song, does have some vintagey moments in it.
Yeah, Mooney Suzuki's kind of like a throwback, kind of garagey sort of, like it fits, and it's also kind of simple, which fits what you want like a band of kids to play. Like they're not going to play Bohemian Rhapsody for this.
Oh my God, could you imagine? Could you imagine these kids playing Bohemian Rhapsody?
I mean, I'm sure they're capable, but I think it makes them like less likable. Like they're too good.
Yeah. Yeah, you needed them to sound like slightly imperfect. Because I'm glad though that they wrote original music for this movie, so this way then we're not comparing it one to what the original is.
Right.
Like for both bands, I'm saying, even for No Vacancy, it's all original music. It's not, you know, they're not doing covers.
Yeah. And calling it their own.
Yes, yeah. Because then you're always just like, well, enter band name here did it better, or well, you don't sound like the singer. They were like, no, we're gonna make it sound like it's part of 80s bands, maybe late 70s, like rock music, but with a early 2000s technology and obviously the actors' voices.
Right. And I mean, Jack does a great job on that song.
I mean, I love his singing voice. No matter like from here, Tenacious D, anything else that he does, he has he has a he has a good rock voice. So, I mean, yeah, this movie. I don't know if this movie was written specifically for him, but like obviously they added, um, they made it. They made like his isms work for this movie.
I have an answer for you. So, yes, it was written for him.
Oh, fun!
So, screenwriter Mike White worked with Jack previously on the OC. Is it? Yeah, the movie Orange County, not OC. Movie Orange County with Colin Hanks.
Oh yes. Oh, he was in that movie. Fuck.
Another Dave Grohl tie-in. So, the Foo Fighters actually made a song for that movie. And at the beginning of that video, Dave Grohl's like pretending to audition for some play or something, and he's like, "I'm gonna read Jack's part." So in the beginning of the video, before the music starts, Dave Grohl is impersonating Jack Black.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
And then I think the video is a play on Fame.
The
The video is a Foo Fighters song called "The One."
Oh, okay.
The music video is a play on the movie Fame.
Stop it. How have I don't think I've ever seen that music video. I need to now.
You should. It's good. It's the same guy who directed the Learn to Fly video.
I do like Fame.
Oh, maybe we should do that for our podcast.
I'm looking. He was Jack Black had a decent career before, even before High Fidelity. Like he had he had a role in Demolition Man. He had a role in The Neverending Story 3. He was in Waterworld,
3?
The Cable Guy. He was in Mars Attacks. That's right. But everyone was in that damn movie. So like, his earliest work is a TV show from 1984. He was in one episode of the show The Fall Guy. Don't know it, but that's his earliest credit.
How old was he in 1984?
Let's see. Let's do some math. He was in his teens. He was 15?
Oh, I had no idea.
Yeah. So, yeah, wow. The fact that he had he had all this work before, and then 2003 rolls around and he's the lead in a movie that, set his career from then on out. That's amazing. Good for him.
Yeah, I mean, that's quite a grind, 20 years.
Yep. There's still people who are like, not the lead in a movie, and they're like, you should be one. So
He made the most of his opportunity.
he did. So much so. I feel like I read that like there was a swear jar or something on set because Jack Black like had to behave. I might be confusing this with other movies with kids where there's an adult who does not censor themselves.
It sounds about
But
right because so it did happen in well, not a swear jar, but I know that Joe Pesci had the same problem in Home Alone.
that's it. That's it. I might be confusing it with that, but like, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if there was something for this movie because, you're dealing with kids, and apparently we need to censor words.
And you're Jack Black from Tenacious D.
And you're Jack Black from Tenacious D. And Sarah Silverman. Although she never really had a scene with the kids, but like, still, she probably had to say censor herself.
She's so miscast in this movie.
Yep. They definitely were just like, hey, you need a job, right?
Oh, you're a comedian. Hey, can you just not be funny in this movie?
Play this character that everyone's going to hate. Good luck.
Don't make jokes.
Don't make jokes. You're going to be the butt of the jokes. So don't make any jokes.
Especially the jokes that you usually make.
Oh, yeah. No. You're not allowed. Not allowed to make those jokes. I think I'm actually liking this movie now more since we're talking about it.
No, there's a lot.
Or at least appreciate it more. I mean, like I said, I probably haven't seen it prior to us like assigning ourselves to watch it for like 10 years, 15 years maybe.
Yeah, probably about the same for me.
I mean, that one scene where they do the touching joke, I was like, we could live without this, but like everything else was fine.
Yeah. And I think the way it treats the kids is really the best part of the movie. Like the kids, while they like make fun of each other and they feel like they're kids, like they never bring up like race, they're never bringing up like body types. Like if they do, they bring it up to him, but they're not like going at each other with that stuff.
Right.
Like
Because then there's Tamika, where she's the one that brings up the body type to Jack Black's character, but also he assigns her to listen to Aretha Franklin just because they have a similar voice, and I feel like the subtext is also you both are strong Black women.
right.
It's not, but like it's not said, and like even Lawrence, who is the keyboardist, like is a cool Asian kid, and like they don't have those stereotypes or anything that you would see on probably any other movie or TV program about these kids.
Yeah, the closest to that is he goes, I've got a top secret project, and then he goes, science project.
Yeah, but like they're kids in this like prestigious prep school, so obviously they're going to think of a subject when you're like, we got this project,
right? But it wasn't like, oh yeah, because you're the Asian kid,
right? Yes, it like anyone I feel like could have said that line, and it would have fit perfectly.
Yeah, because there's the kid that designs the costumes. I think Jack Black's nickname for him is Fancy Pants.
Yes, it is, and his Billy's after my own heart. Little gay boy, love him.
Right, but they never bring that up.
Yeah, but it's like heavily inferred throughout, so it's not said. But like the kid has a little bit of a lisp. He has some sassy moments too, but like no one ever is just like Billy's gay,
Right.
which is pretty progressive considering 2003.
Yeah. And that's why I think the movie is like really good to the kids.
Yes, yeah, and they treat Jack Black doesn't treat them like kids, really. There are moments that he does, and that's because like they're doing the whole teacher student dynamic. But like, I mean, he tricks them via a school project, but then he's like talking to them as if they are adults.
Right.
He's not like, hey kids, this is a guitar, dingly, like.
Well, it's also like I need this from you guys. I
Yeah,
need you
he's
guys
just
to do
like,
this.
yeah, and then like a best example of this is like when they are late for the audition and he's just like act sick and they're all just like, cool bro.
Yeah.
I mean, there is that one moment where is it Freddie? I think it is Freddie, the drummer is like playing cards with another band. I mean, they tamed it for that scene, but like that's the only time that Jack Black like plays the adult card, and that's like really the only moment that logically you should.
Right. I mean, you should be
So
getting any stranger's van.
right, but like also like the I'm yelling at you, you're in trouble kind of adult card, rather than you know like, bro, don't do it, bye, let's go play.
Right. Yeah, it's like the one time he takes responsibility.
Yeah. So good. And it's of course at the end of the movie, which makes a lot of sense because we went on a journey with him.
He's growing. He's growing right before our eyes.
He's becoming a human adult. I would recommend this movie, even if you haven't seen it in a minute. Like, revisit this movie. It's pretty good. I mean, besides, like I said, that one scene where he's being confronted by the parents and he does the whole like, I touched them, they touched me, which is supposed to be a joke, I think. Still unclear about that, but uh, the movie itself is banger, as the kids say.
Yeah, it's kind of that line's kind of a shrug, but they've already done all the like important work before they got to that point, so it doesn't like tank the movie.
No, 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 no. It's just like a moment where it's like, I get it, you're adding a joke here for the sake of like breaking the tension, but it's dumb. And you probably could have done a better joke.
Yeah,
So,
it's a little
yeah.
like as much as they try to avoid the low hanging fruit, like with the kids, they decide to just like, all right, we'll do it here.
You have to do it for this one joke. It's like, okay, I'll forgive you for that one joke because the rest of the movie's pretty cool, pretty good.
But then they have the School of Rock doing AC/DC for the credits, which I think is a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's not as great as their song they sing at the Battle of the Bands, but I mean, I really appreciate it because you got to show off all the kids' talents. Uh, what like Tamika wailing, or like all the kids who have instruments just like going off.
Think of it as the
Sorry, I
encore.
just
It's the movie encore.
I just I just have the picture of Lawrence during the performance where he's pointing because that's what Jack Black told him to do, like point in the audience.
He's doing like
He's playing.
the little gun
He,
keyboard
yeah,
gun.
he's like it's like a staccato point throughout the audience while his other hand is playing the keys. It's amazing.
Yeah, and his like super spiky hair
Super spiky hair and the cape.
and the cape.
Can't go wrong. I mean, I do have to listen to my Edna Mode from The Incredibles and just say no capes, but like in that moment, I'll allow a cape.
Well, he's not going to get sucked into a turbine or anything.
Who knows? You never know with these movies.
Well, then that's on the AV team or special effects team. No turbines on the stage when Lawrence has his cape on.
Yes, yes, yes. Oh goodness. Did we hit everything you wanted? I mean, this is your podcast. I don't know. Is there any? Do we do anything else?
I think we're pretty much good.
Yeah, we got everything. We hit everything.
Did I talk about how we've done 5 Randall Poster films?
The what?
Randall Poster, the soundtrack supervisor. I think we did. I think this
What
is.
were the other 4?
We did Kids, which was his first
Ooh,
movie that he did the soundtrack supervision for. Velvet Goldmine, which we did mention.
you've dropped that one a few times.
Life Aquatic and Royal Tenenbaums.
Oh, interesting. He didn't do Rushmore. Who did Rushmore?
He did Rushmore.
He did
We just
Rushmore.
haven't done Rushmore yet.
You haven't done. Okay, okay. Sorry, he did. He did it, but you guys haven't covered it yet.
Correct. And then he's worked with Richard Linklater multiple times after this film.
Oh wow! Did he do Boyhood?
He did do Boyhood. He did Apollo 10.5, which just came out recently.
Interesting.
He did Suburbia.
Huh.
I'm trying to remember if he did Everybody Gets Some. I think he did.
Interesting. Interesting.
Or maybe not. But yeah, he's worked with Linklater a few times. He doesn't do every film like he does with Wes Anderson, but it's kind of weird that he's known as the Wes Anderson guy when he's worked with Richard Linklater multiple times.
Hey, when you got a good team, you got to bring them along. Like, doesn't John Williams always do Steven Spielberg for the most part?
For the most part, he didn't do Ready Player One. I think that was Alan Silvestri, which makes sense since Alan Silvestri is very good at channeling like the 80s because of Back to the
Yeah,
Future.
yeah. That movie didn't require the grandiose John Williams score. It needed like the 8-bit game music vibes.
Yeah. But yeah, kind of like John Williams is known for Spielberg, Randall Poster, who is not actually a composer. He's kind of tied at the hip with Wes Anderson, but he's actually done a lot for Linklater too.
Nice. It's great that they can share him.
Yeah, I mean, he's got quite the prolific IMDb. Yeah, he's done a lot of stuff where, when we started this podcast, I kind of just knew him as the Wes Anderson guy, but like I was like, oh, he did the Life Less Ordinary soundtrack. I like that one too.
What about the guy that composed for School of Rock? The movie, I should say. Not
Craig Wedren?
Sir Andrew Leto. Yeah.
What about...
Like, have you done any other movies that he's done?
Well, Velvet Goldmine.
Well, yes.
And then I assume that we will be doing Wet Hot American Summer at some point.
It seems like you have to, because that's another one that has connections to this movie. So, and the music in that is banger, as the kids say.
Absolutely. So, John, thank you for coming on the podcast.
Thank you for letting me kind of overtake you for a little bit there, but, we went back. We got back.
Yeah, we brought it back around.
Brought it back around.
So, when can people download new episodes of Life's But a Song?
So every Mondays and Thursdays are episodes of Life's But a Song. Where this is June, right? Yes. So I just did a whole bunch of like people coming back on for their second episode as a guest. So I try to have fun and make theme things happening. I don't know if anyone else picks up on that, but yeah, we have a great time. And then Movie Deja Vu comes out every Tuesdays, available wherever you're listening to this podcast. Both of them are available, I should say. And you can check out Life's But a Song at But a Song Pod everywhere, and Movie Deja Vu is at Movie Deja Vu Pod on Instagram and Facebook, and on Twitter we're Movie Deja Vu, just straight up with no pod.
Cool.
So.
Check them out.
Yeah.
Thank you once again.
Yeah, we're having fun there.
If you enjoyed this podcast, rate, review, subscribe. If you enjoy John's podcast, you should do the same.
Oh yeah, that whole stuff that I never say to do. You should do it.
But thanks once again, John.
But also live your life. I shouldn't tell you what to do.
Once again, thank you, John, and we'll have to do this again.
Yes, and I'll have to have, all three of you on my podcast at some point.
Easier said than done.
Very true. Very, very true. The producer life.
I know. All right, have a good night, John.
Good night, everyone.
Thanks for joining us this week on Soundtrack Your Life. Make sure to visit our website, soundtrackyourlife.net, where you can subscribe to the show on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. While you're at it, if you found value in the show, we'd appreciate a rating. Or if you'd simply tell a friend about the show, that would help us out too.